Hello everyone and welcome. This is going to be a tutorial for how to get on ranking. The way ranking works is by you potting slim pots in Ragnarok. You get points to get on the ranking. So every few pots that you go without breaking, you get a certain amount of points. So the more you go without breaking, the better. So I'm going to teach you one of the optimal ways to get in that ranking as fast as possible with the least number of white sands that I can. So to start off, I'm going to show you a few of the macros that I'm going to be using. These are not required. Just keep in mind you can do it manually. This is actually manual. I make a few macros to make my life a little bit easier. So I'll show you. This is what it looks like. You can pause the video and copy it. To sort of explain this, whenever you hold Alt and press a letter, it will do the following, right? That's the way you read this. If you want, a tutorial on how to set up macros, let me know. I'll do that a separate video. Just leave it on the comment. But for this one, we're going to use mouse move. Mouse move is just easy pixel count of where you want the mouse to be. I do this in a guess and check, so I create, for example, exclamation mark L, right? The L is only going to be my test. All it is moving the mouse, so I know where it's going to stop. So I keep running the macro until I get the mouse location to where I want it. So you keep moving. The first number is going to be, I believe, how far to the right you want, and then the second number is going to be how much down you want to go. I'm not really sure, but you can play around in the numbers. Pretty easy. But for me, I know that I'm going to be sitting right next to the Caphra, like I am right here. And sitting being very important, because if you misclick, you walk away. I leave my inventory open. While this inventory is open, you cannot drop items on the floor by accident. So yeah. Sleep, I like putting sleep between every single command, and I like breaking the commands by push down and push up. There is a way to do it where you just click right, but I don't. I believe that's a command, click right, but or click left if that's what you want. But I don't like that command. It doesn't give me enough delays, and if I want to drag items, I have to like switch to my lingbo. I rather just use the same thing for all. But so click, that's going to be your mouse click. There's another movement, so pretty much sort of reading. You're going to grab it from the inventory, or I'm sorry, you're going to grab it from Caphra. Click, hold, right? You'll hold on. Then you move to my inventory, and then click up, which means let go of the button. So it drags whatever item is to the inventory. Then it's going to be a pop-up window, so you're going to put how many you'd like, and then you're going to have to hit enter, obviously, and then it does that again, so it moves another item. And this time it's only 150, so I'm getting 150 of the first item, 150 of the second item, and this is to remove materials from storage in order to pot. So whenever you're doing the mass potting, you're gonna get a certain amount that you need. So I have a macro to take out the bomb materials, and I have the white sands material. So I have both of those macros. So that's just repeating. And again, if you want to pause the video at any point and just copy, again, you're gonna have to do this on your own, sort of, and I can make a tutorial. Another one we're gonna be using is to move things from my inventory to storage, or I'm sorry, to trade. So this is a different location. So if I trade my own character, I'll give all the items that are on my inventory to the other character, again, just to make it easier. I still need to alt tab on my own. The next one is to move from my inventory to storage. So it'll actually, this one is a little bit faster, so you see this 50, because I can actually click fast to move things to the storage, but I just wanted to make it easier on me. So that'll do from inventory to storage several times. Next one is which send. So whenever you have too many of an item, your CAFR's full, what this will do is you get that item into the inventory, and you'll see this. I'll show it, and it will actually send it to. Actually, I'll show you right now. So I think that you can see most of it. So list of wannabe is the one that here, I'll scroll this to the very top. List of wannabe is what I want to send to, and 2,500 is the quantity that I want to send to him. You can play around with this number, obviously. So I'll show you what that looks like right now. I'm going to hit Alt L, and it fills out everything for me. It tells me that it's going to be send. It's going to send it to my potter. I hit send. I always want to hit send myself, just in case something went wrong. But yeah, you can see it's a little bit faster, and that way my potter is receiving all these. And let's say I want to move this up, right? Usually it's easier to move up. To move down, obviously all you got to do is grab it. See, if you grab it and try to move to inventory, it won't let you. If you do it to cart, it goes all the way to the bottom. And then in order to move it up, obviously you do the other way around, and you'd actually want to like put things in your cart and back, or you want to max out your cart weight so that when you do try to move it, it just goes to the bottom. It's the easiest way, even if you have one item. So if you have 100 items in your cart, you just keep moving things to your cart. So I moved all my items here. So these are the ones for the bomb, and remember I showed you the macro before. If I run that macro here, that's what it looks like. So it gets exactly enough for, I believe, three potting attempts with the link. Yep, that's how you do it. And then I can use the other macro to send everything back. But yeah, the idea is you want to make sure that once you organize this on the order that you want, because it's going to be targeting it doesn't look for, it's not a bot program, so it doesn't look for the item. It goes to whatever this is. So if I'm in the wrong tab, it's going to grab whatever the first item is. Back to my macros. So next one is, so I put S for stem. That's actually going to send it to another account. This is actually the BC for the party, and it's going to send 5,000 at a time. Same thing, F for fabric. It's going to send it to that same person. It's going to label it fabric, and it's going to send 5,000 of them. Okay, so this is the other one I use. So again, if I do Alt N, it's going to loop this 1,000 times, at least this part right here, from bracket to bracket. All it is it's going to press B on my keyboard automatically. What B is potion creation. And then it's going to hit enter several times, and this is going to help me pot blues faster because you don't have the multi pot. A few items that are good to have: shield that's +0, like no upgrade at all. It gives you -6 int. That is good whenever before you marionette control with the bard or the dancer. You want to lower your stats as much as possible. As you can see, I actually reset my potter every time I pot, whenever I have a chance. That means I'm going to have 1 in all stats, and as soon as I equip this shield, I'm going to have 2 int, or I'm sorry, yeah, 2 int, which is going to be even lower. So you want to lower int, dex, and luck as much as possible. The other item I have is the Phantasma Elf Ear. Again, lowering my int. I could have one for the helm as well, but I don't have an extra incubus that I can just throw on my helm. But I would have one as well. So that would be -6 int, right? 3 from each card. And once you marionette control, Now you want to put the good gear on, right, to pot. Obviously, I'm going to use Brisingum. It gives 6 int and 10 luck. If you don't have this, you can use Orleans Glove with Zeron. That's also a decent replacement. So you're going to want 2 of those. I don't know if your server will have, but this Classic doesn't really have a lot of options. If you have the means, you'd want the I believe this is actually only 40 decks. I'm not sure if this is wrong. Let's see. I can equip it. Yeah, that's only 40 decks. So that description is actually wrong. But yeah, so it gives 40 decks. Mjolnir. If you don't have Mjolnir, you can do Fortune Knife. The Fortune Knife gives, I believe, 5. That's an easy little replacement. Now you're going to want to go to the positive side, so you want a Holden card plus 2 luck. You're going to want one on your hat as well. I don't have one, mainly because this is not the best hat. There is a King's Pouring hat in the server. It's extremely rare, extremely expensive, and I don't have access. I do have access to one, but I don't like borrowing gear, so I'm going to be using this one that, you know, as long as you're getting as much luck and dex as possible. Int is also important, but I'll talk to you about the points later about that. But armor, this is a 3 luck enchant, so you can't see the hidden enchant, so you can enchant your armor, some of your armors, and this one actually has 3 luck. And then it gives +1, so it has 4, and then plus my card, which gives 3 more. So if I'm to equip this, we got 4, 5, 6, 7, so it should give me 7 luck, so it should go to 18. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, that I believe is the best way, best armor. Then you're gonna want to replace your shield that you lower your stats to the +2 luck. It's pretty easy there. Crystal Pump gives you 5 luck. Easy there. It doesn't have to be +7. I just had a whole bunch and I just needed to break some. And then there are 2 mouthpieces. It can be the Lucky Clover or the Lucky or 4-leaf clover. They both give the same luck. And then you want a +9 heavily or a high enchant, high fortify cape of any sort that you can use. I only got to +9. If you can get a +10, it's better, but it actually reduces luck. Oh, I just realized. So I'm missing one of these. I should have another one of these +0. It's got to be somewhere. I don't know where I kept it. It's probably in one of my accounts. I got to go look for it. But this would be good to equip beforehand as well. One that doesn't have a plus, and then you a high plus, because this card will actually give you luck according to upgrade. So this is pretty good. And that's it. So there are things, for example, pouring. I only have a, oh, that's not an egg. I only have a pouring, but there are things that increase luck. So here's a pouring. I believe pouring and pouring give the same. I'm not too sure. Check on your server. I believe pouring might be 3, but pouring is 2. Remember, you gotta have the item, and it has to be beloved. It has to be loyal in order to give you that stats. So feed it before you pot. These 2 are actually pretty easy. If your server has something else that gives more luck or more dex, use that. And there are rumors that the homunculus also increases, but it has to be this little dude, the goo. I'm not gonna lie, I never really felt the difference. All right, let's talk about stats. So, like I said, you need luck, dex, and int. Luck and dex both are 1 point, right? Let's count them as 1 point. And int is 0.05 or 0.5, so it's half a point. So for every 2 points of int, it's equal to one dex or 1 luck. So you want items, you want buffs, you want things that give you dex and luck over int if they can't stack. If you can get them all, great. So what I do for my bard is I put 80. There are probably more optimal ways to pot, but I already hit 100% potting, so I don't really mind. Even when it doesn't hit 100%, it's so close to it that for me, I'm okay with it. But like I said, calculate it, play around with it. But I put 80 on all 3 stats on my bard. That gives, so the way the Marionette control works is half of your base gets transferred, so it doesn't matter. The bard doesn't need gear. If I have 80 on each, I'm transferring 40 to me. However, if your total hits 99 before the 40, it won't. So if I have, let's say, 80 int plus 7, so that's 87 int. If I have 80 on my bard and I'm Marionette control, I don't get the 40. I get whatever 99 minus 87 is. That's all you're gonna get. So you want to make sure if you're not resetting, your bard is giving you as many points as possible. So if you put 99 luck, 99 dex on your build and not a lot of int, put a lot of int on your bard because you're gonna want it to transfer over. However, if you have 99 dex and 99 luck, doesn't matter how much you put on your bard, you're not going to get anything out of it. So unless you're able to get negative stats over here on your server, you're not going to benefit from it. Another thing you want from a Pally, they have the battle chant. There's a plus 20 in all 3 stats. Well, in all of the stats, but it will affect all 3 stats. That is a huge buff. I go from 189 out of 200 about. That's my average, to about 198, 199 out of 200 when the BC is on. So it's worth waiting for that BC, that battle chant, because remember, if it breaks, so if I hit 200 out of 200 twice in a row, you're maxing out the max number of points that you can possibly get. However, if you're doing 199 out of 200, I don't know how the system really calculates where that break was, but you get about 10 points off just because you're not optimizing it, right? So BC is amazing. You might have already seen it, but on my storage I have food. I use 10 plus 10 food. There's some servers that have the plus 20 as well that can stack. This one doesn't. So I use all 3 of them. I do have Berserk Potion somewhere for potting blues. Yeah, there it is. The way you do it, you want a dancer, you want a bard, and you need your Marionette control. If you turn on both songs, the SP song and the strings, magic strings, you're gonna have almost no delay, but you want your attack speed as fast as possible. So you're gonna wanna spam, and then you can use that macro that I showed you, and it'll optimize. You'll pot as fast as you can. Anyways, all right. Before I forget, another thing you're gonna need is a priest, and I'll show you. Actually, no, I won't, because it's on my other computer. So I actually have another computer that's set up for warp. It's a really old computer. Like you could probably buy a $200, $100 computer, or go to somebody that's giving them away. It's Ragnarok. It doesn't take much, but I use one of those computers, a throwaway computer, during War of Imperium and while I pot, because I have him spamming Glory, Bless, and Agi. And if you guys want help with that, again, it's the same thing. It's just click. It's mouse click and like mouse position, and then the send whatever letter your buff is. And you can do that either on the person. I like doing it on the party window, because that way he's not walking around all over the place in case you move. So that's my 2 cents in. So it has to be running constantly because you know you got to be always hitting glory. So that's why I have it on a separate computer. It's not a botting system, so I can't have it on the same computer on the background. It actually takes over my mouse. So it's not like I can be doing something else while this is happening. And then you're gonna need the classes that you're gonna need. It's a soul linker. If you're potting slims, you're gonna need a TKM, or I'm sorry, super novice. If you're potting the bums, you're gonna need a TK kid. I believe TKM does something else. I don't pot it, so I don't know about it. But I believe there's a third use for it. It has to be in the party. It can only be one at a time. If one of them is in the party, you're only gonna get that buff once you link. You actually gotta, if you have them both, it's not gonna work. You gotta leave the one that you don't want. Leave the party with the one that you don't want. Only have the super novice or the TK kid that you want to pot. I also have you can have a scholar giving you SP. I just use, so I stand right here. These NPCs actually have several items here. So the first one will actually give you all the items you need to pot slims. So all you need is witch sand. The second item is a N token, which will fill up your HP and SP. The second NPC, once you have the amulet with you, so this the first amulet, he gives you the exact. He trades one for the exact items that you need to pot 200, which is one link, right? And then the last guy is if you have no HP or SP, use that token and it fills you up. It's sort of like there's no chat, you just click on it and it fills you up. This guy right here is amazing. I don't know if your server is gonna have it. This one does, but it has everything that you need. So it's got the blue jams for what you need, shells for feeding your homunculus or to pot the blue potions. Berserk potions if you ever need it. It's right here. You don't need to go a lighthouse. And then the medicine stuff that you're gonna need at the bottom. But yeah, this is the best spot. And you got Caphro right here. You got mail right here, so you can actually access your mail. You can't access your mail once you're with your cart open, so you got to make sure you close it. Also, I didn't show you the macro, but there is a macro for picking up mail. I'm not gonna run it right now because you might see it while I'm potting. All it does is access my mails, clicks on one of these, grabs the item and deletes the mail for me, and then closes this, and it adds it to my Caphra. That one's a little bit more complicated. If you need help building that, let me know. I'll make a tutorial for it. All right, preparing for potting, right? Let's say you're just about to prepare to pot, but you need items, right? So you saw the NPC here that has a lot of stuff, but you don't have witch sand, stamina, or anything. You can go hunt for that. People use bots for it. It's illegal. In Iro, they actually were really nice to combat the bots. They gave us guild supply boxes. They drop from GD, which is the guild dungeons, and also Biolab, the third floor. And all it is there's a random chance to give you an item that is actually useful. It's a WoW item, so it has a huge list here of all the things that you can get. Yeah, so you just gotta, I put it in the bar and I just open it. I don't know if you noticed, I do have a modded box. The reason I have that is I used to pick up the loot manually, and if you're bowling bashing an entire mob in the guild dungeon, it actually makes it hard to pick up only those boxes. I don't care for the other items. We don't have auto pickup here on the server, so what I do is I actually go for the edges of that big box. It shows up big on my screen, makes it easier. Now I don't even use that anymore. I just haven't turned it off yet. Now I actually use greed. I have a greed hat that you can use greed, which picks up all the items around you. It's a mastersmith skill, but you can use it on anybody as long as you have the hat. It's called the piggy bank hat. It allows you to use it at will. And what I do is I actually carry 90 or 100 items, and one of those items is one of the boxes, and all it is it picks up, if I greed, it picks up only that box. All right, so how do I know I'm ready to pot? Well, I go to my main potter and I look at the mail. I have 30k witch sense in my Kafra, but now I have each one of these mails has 2,500 in them, and I can sort of see if how many I have total. I like to have a lot so I can pot once, mainly because the reset. I can only do the resets every 6 months. So I do have 3 potters that I use in case I need a pot for more, if I'm running out of slims. But for me, I like checking here. The mail has I believe 4 or 5 pages of limit. However, if you're logged in, it continues to feed you past that. But if you log off and log back in, you're only going to see that 4 or 5 pages. But if you relog, you will see the stuff that you weren't seeing before. But I can't relog, so I got to stay logged in. Once I'm sending my items over to my potter, it means I'm gonna pot. And there's no more DCs. I'm not gonna, I make sure my connection is good, because I want to be able to access more pages on my mail without relogging. Because once you relog, that's it. You're not potting anymore, or you're gonna lower your chances, or you're gonna have to pay and reset it. So you want to make sure you're logged in for good when you're about to pot. What I want to talk about the Bard is he's the leader of the guild. The reason why he's the leader of the guild is he's pretty much my buff, right? He's the one that I want always with my biochem. So what we did is added a few points. So if, I don't even think you might need this just to open up the other ones. I believe the same for this. But this is what you're going for: sharp gaze. So anybody that's touching or near the Bard is going to be receiving 5 decks. That helps. Like it or not, it's actually very helpful. I believe great leadership doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, it's strength. We don't need strength. So 5 decks. Anybody that's near me. That's why I'm far away from the Bard, because I don't want him to be near me before. Because watch, if I go near him, there you go. I got dex and I got strength. If I go away from him, it's still there. It takes a little bit, but once it's gone, you can start setting up. Make sure you have no buffs, no food items, no pets out, nothing. So you're by yourself with the negative items only. And I'm gonna go ahead and go to my Bard here. All right, guys. While we wait for the BC, let's go over a few things. I'm gonna go ahead and pot the 3 foods, and you're also gonna need one more item that I kind of forgot. Hopefully it's not too late for you. Try to bring it on a separate character. These are sold at Aldebaran, at the guild, at the Alchemist Guild. So all the books, you're gonna need to have it. So now I'm pink. Now you can see that my stats went up from negative. It actually went up 40. That's why that one's not over 40, but you can see that the other 2 gained the 40. And now what I'm going to do is actually shift right click, and what's going to happen is my Bard is going to follow me wherever I go. And this is important because if you misclick or whatever, the Bard is not going to take off running. Just one advice that I have for you is don't panic, because I know people are like click and like panic, and it can actually make the person that's following you go further away than you want. So if you misclick, just let it happen, let it go to the end. It usually will stay within range. The range of this is actually pretty long. See, it's kind of hard. Just don't panic. Alright guys, so I do have the priest ready. So all he's doing right now is Bless Agi, Glory, and Mag. It alternates. I do have Glory 5. I do recommend it. It's kind of, even if you are using a macro, a little bit less screen pollution going on. I do like potting with effects on, mainly because of the link, and I want to make sure I can see the marionette. Let's go ahead and switch to these gears here. Let me double check that I'm not. Yep, okay, so I'm going to put this one away. And Phantasma, yep, I put that away. I can also, at this point, open up my pet. I could move up, there it is, check pet status. I do leave that open over in the corner of the screen here. Just make sure, I don't want my pet to starve. I'm also going to get my homunculus out. Sorry about that. Do that. It's a little bit screen pollution going on. I'm not a big fan, but sometimes you just have to. There you go. We got the BC going. And then now the most important part. You can see I already have over 100 decks and 100 luck. So now that I have everything set up and I'm ready to start potting, I know that I'm not going to have to relog. I'm going to go ahead and add the stats. So dex plus, we're going to do 79, luck plus space 79, and int plus space 79. That should give us 80, 80, 80, maxing out our potential of potting. Then you can put the rest. Some people actually put Agi as the rest. I'm going to go ahead and put it in luck. My guy's linked. You can see the screen's turned purple a little bit. And in my skills, I have 2 extra skills. I believe it's the red one. Yeah, it's the one that shows up the little potions on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and put that on my bar. Make life easier. So, for setup, here's what I do. I'll grab a stack of, I believe you can do 4,000. I could be wrong here, but what I do is you put 3,000 on storage. I don't know if it's 4,000 on storage and 1,000 on you, but let's do 1,000, 3,000. But that's the number I'm gonna go with today. Okay, I got food. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy these end tokens. I'm gonna do 100. I believe they don't weigh anything. I'm not sure. And then I'm gonna buy also 100 of these alchemist tokens. The alchemist tokens do weigh a little bit. Oh well, no, maybe not. So I guess I could get more. All right. Well, anyways, I'm ready. I'm set up. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my BC. That's not the BC. We're gonna bring this over here. Makes our life a little bit easier. Oh, make sure your BC has the end tokens because you're gonna have to use it every once in a while. So the idea here is wait for the BC to proc. You can actually see it visually. Your HP is only gonna move a little bit. When it moves a lot, you got double HP. That's not helpful. You can also read what's going on down here on your chat. Alright guys, as soon as I turned it on, it gave me it. I don't want to waste time, so we'll do this fast. So all stats will stay increased. You'll see that I have plus 20 right here on all my stats. So I'm going to 240. I'm not going to waste a lot of time, so here we go. The trick is you press the button to pot. While you're casting, you talk to this NPC. So I just got the plus 20. You see that all stats have been increased. You can see that I have a lot more stats now. I'm gonna go ahead and test it out. Yep, that worked. Okay, so I got 200 out of 200. The trick is you press, and when you're mid cast, you want to talk to that blue NPC, and you're gonna get it. That one I broke a few, but that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get as many as I can out of this BC.
No, I start.
The plus 20, you want to make the most of it.
I don't remember.
The idea here, I'm going to show you without BC. You're going to want to wait for the BC for the best score. But again, you press the skill, you click on this NPC, he'll give you the items, and that's it. You do that 5 times, but that's the idea, guys. Like I said, I recommend waiting for BC. As you can see, I'm actually going to keep potting while I talk. 191 out of 200 is not bad. Oh, I just got BC, so there's a 200. Oh, that was 197, 193, 192. I don't know what's going on. I might be missing something, but there's another 200. Over to cart. And once you get this down, 1 plus 20. See, there's another 200. 1 plus 20 can get you through all your 500 or all your 4,000 pots. It is doable. Alright, guys, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like as you go up in rank. Pretty much, you can keep an eye on it. So you can see that I am already 6th place. I just started. Like, I pretty much just tested the build. But as you go up, it tells you how many points you're at. So as long as you know, I know the next one is 62,000. So as soon as I see 62,000 show up instead of 45,000, that means we are good. Alright, so here is the problem that I was telling you guys about. If you talk to the NPC and for whatever reason the pot doesn't happen and you don't pick up the pots, see how I'm getting 90%? It will work if the cast already started. So that's why I told you to grab the materials mid-cast. It's the way that you can sort of be cheeky with the system, right? It's like, oh, okay, well, I can't carry all this normally, but I can if I'm mid-cast.